Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 137 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I am a day later than usual with my regular podcasting. If you've been following my Whip It Down Week posts, you'll know that I got home a lot later than I expected yesterday afternoon. And by then it was dark and I was tired and it was not optimal for doing a podcast. So I thought I'll just leave it and do it Sunday afternoon instead, and I'll just be a day later than usual in filming. Although if you've been following my Whip It Down week, you've been keeping up with what I've been up to and what I've been crafting on for the last week also. But if not, I thought I'd still do a regular episode just in case you're not watching those little videos each day and are still curious to see what progress I've made. So this past week I have made a lot of progress on all of my whips. Granted, all of my whips amounts to 3, but I've made significant progress on all of them, and I'm happy with the progress I've made on everything. I'm very close to a finish on one. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel on a second one, and I still got quite a ways to go on the third one, but that's fine. So I'll do them in order of how close to finish they are. So my goal during my Whip It Down week was to spend some time each and every day cycling through all of my works in progress. Now I didn't divide my time up evenly across the projects as I had initially planned. So I didn't really spend equal time on each of them in terms of days. But I'm okay with that because I've still spent time on all of them this past week. So my one that's closest to being finished, I don't think I've showed you this bag in quite a while. This is by Moonstone Dye Works, Tommy from somewhere in California, Northern California. I got this a while back. It's a nice size for socks. And spoiler alert, that's what's in here. These are my toe up, 2 at a time socks. And I was using, or am using I should say, Rising Tide Fiber Co. yarn for this. This is yarn I bought at the Frederick Fiber Fest last month. And this is Tea Time Prep is the name of the color or the sock set. And this was a really neat way of packaging yarn for my taste. You got a 50-gram skein of the main color and a 20-gram skein of the contrast color. And for me, that works out perfectly because I like my socks to be a little bit on the shorter side. And when I incorporate the contrasting color for the heels, toes, and the cuffs, I don't need more than 50 grams. I don't need 100 grams. Nowhere close to 100 grams. So this has worked out fantastically. And now I'm kind of thinking I'm hooked on the 50-gram skeins with the contrast color for the heels, toes, and cuffs. So this past week, I have made huge progress on these. They are almost done. I am on the cuff on these. I've only done about, oh stop. I'm hoping someone comes out soon and shuts that off. That's annoying. Thank you. So anyway, so I'm on the cuff. I've done 3 rounds so far, and I plan to do between 15 and 20 rounds. It'll all depend on how long this little guy lasts. When I started the cuffs, I had 8 grams of the contrasting color. So again, doing them 2 at a time, I will knit until I run out, or I'm very close to running out of contrast color. So when I saw you last, where's my little marker? I was way down here. Last week I had about 1 inch to go on the foot before it was time to start doing the gusset increasing. So I finished that last inch. I finished the gusset increasing. I did the heel turn. I did the heel flaps, and I kept going up the leg a little longer than I typically do for my sort of shorty, but this is a good length. And then I switched to my contrast color for my cuff. And what I did first is I did 1 round in plain stockinette in the contrast color, and then went into doing the cuff. I like the nice crisp line. I don't like it as much when you can see in the purl rows, the first purl row where you can see part of both the previous color and the new color. So I did 1 round plain stockinette first. So these are almost done. I am crossing my fingers that I will get these finished tonight, so that they will be a finished object before I go to sleep this evening. I still have a few work things to get done. It's back to work now. I do have some school things that have to get done. I have a couple emails that I have to answer in the next little while. Next couple hours I'll get those answered. I gotta quit saying anyway, so I'm hoping that when I get that last little bit done, I can watch a little bit of stuff on YouTube or catch up on some TV shows. Mostly caught up on most of my TV shows though, truth be told. So then once the hubby gets home, he'll be heading out to work with his youth group at church this evening. Once he's home, we will watch a movie and I'll continue knitting. So I'm hoping they're done today. I'm hoping, but we shall see. So during my Whip It Down week, I spent time on 6 out of my 11 days working on these socks. Granted, a few times when I worked on them, I had worked on a different project earlier in the day and I just wanted something that was more mindless for TV watching or movie watching or something like that. So I did spend a little bit more time working on these. I'm going to refrain from casting on more socks for a little while, but and get the other ones done first. So I ended up with 8 grams of the main color left, and I was thinking what I might do is continue making the leg a little bit longer with the main color before I switch to the contrast. But then I thought what I would like to do is make a few pair of sort of shorty scrappy socks and do them 2 at a time. And so I'll do the toe or the cuff depending on whether I go down or up. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of ums today. I'm sorry. So what I'll do is I'll do either the cuff or the toe in one color. Then I will knit the 2 at the same time I'll use this one and I'll use different scraps. Perhaps I might do a black. I think it would look sharp with black heels, toes, and cuffs. And do maybe a couple rounds of black. So do a black cuff, then exhaust this, then do a couple bands of black, and then do another color, and so on and so on. So that's the plan. I'm going to set this aside and save this for some kind of scrap sock project. So 8 grams is all that was left of the main skein for these. And I really like this yarn. I'm going to keep an eye out for more of her yarn. Because I really liked it. It was nice to work with. There's a nice twist to it. It was very nice to work with. I'm not sure about the wearability. They haven't been worn, but we shall see on that. So I've enjoyed knitting with that. And I am now hooked on using 50 gram skeins. I think I might go through and maybe I'll order, I enjoy working with the Felici, and so I'm thinking maybe I'll order a few single skeins of the Felici sock in there, those gorgeous stripes, and use some of the tips. Oh, and thank you for everyone that gave me some suggestions on what to do for alternates for modifying for a higher instep when I'm doing either toe up or top down socks, so I don't have to use the heel flap and heel turn, although I do like the fit of that sock. I just don't like the way it plays around with altering the length of the stripes. Decaf green tea. I just wanted something warm to sip on while I'm talking. So that's project number 1. I have something I want to start off as an idea for something to do throughout 2023. I ordered an Advent sock set, or Advent 24-day mini sock calendar, or mini skein calendar. This is easy for me to say, my goodness. So I ordered that. I have plans for that. I'll talk about that later. But what I would like to do for socks in the future is the same seller has a 12-day Advent calendar, and each of the days is a 50 gram skein of yarn. And I was thinking what I would love to do is order that, call it a Christmas present for myself. I'm not sure, I've probably already called a few things Christmas presents for myself. So it is, so be it. But what I would like to do is order that Advent calendar and put it aside and open each of the little boxes on the 1st of the month for the 12 months next year, and make myself a pair of little socks. The same style I did with this 50 and 20 gram set. So by doing that, I will make myself 12 new pair of socks, and I will use one of the 50 gram skeins. So on the 1st of January, I will open box number 1 and make a pair of socks with that pair, or with that yarn, in January. What I plan on doing is thinking about what kind of color I want to use for a contrast color, and maybe get a couple skeins of just the bare yarn and dye a couple skeins, by 2 or 3 skeins, in a charcoal tonal black kind of color, like a dark gray to leaning towards black. Because I think that'll coordinate well with whatever color the 50 gram skeins are in the set, as long as there's not a set that's heavily black. And if there is a set that's got a lot of black in it, so be it. So I'm kind of thinking that would be neat, because that would tie all 12 pair of socks together by having the same color heels, toes, and cuffs. And since I really do like the fit of this particular pair of socks that I just almost finished making, and again, that's the Mashup Magic Toe Up socks, and it's basically a recipe by Gina Gina Lavi. I am not pronouncing that poor lady's name correctly, and I'm sorry. So that's my first WIP and one of the plans I have for the upcoming year. My second WIP is living in my Fringe Supply field bag, and this is my Rachel top. And this is a pattern by Veronica Joby. Again, pronunciation not good. So I have made a little bit of progress on this. I'm happy that I picked it up and done some work on it. So my progress since I last saw you is from this marker upwards. So I've done another 8 rounds. I think it was 8 rounds on this. So I've made a little bit of progress. I only worked on this pattern or this project twice, I think. So I'm just checking my show notes or my notes here. Yeah, I only worked on it 2 days. So I didn't get a lot of progress made on this, although I'm happy with the progress I did make. I think what I'm going to do moving forward with my Rachel top is make sure I spend a little bit of time on it every week. At least once a week work on it, or 1 day a week. Spend some time working on it. So I'm not in as huge a hurry to get that one finished because A, it's got a ways to go, and B, it's not something I'll be wearing until we get well into the spring and once it starts warming up again, because it is a short sleeve tee. That one I am going to try to make sure I make a conscious effort of working on it at least once a week. At least once a week, so that I get some progress on it. And it doesn't sit there for a month being neglected like it did the last part of most of October and the first part of November. I went far too long without working on it at all, and I need to make sure I spend a little bit of time on it. And the final WIP that I worked on this past week is again in my Fringe Supply. This is, I think, the town bag is what this one was called. It's a larger bag. And this one holds my Twists and Turns shawl. This is the Westknits MKAL from Mystery Shawl Knit Along from, it started October 2022. I'm getting closer to done, but I still have a ways to go. So let me get untangled here. Try to get untangled here. So since I last saw you, I was ready to start on clue number 3. So clue number 3 included this teal and gray stripe section. So I got the one side finished, and I got a decent start on the other side. I am showing you the right side. Sorry, I was just checking to make sure I was showing you the right side. So I got a few rows on this one, on the second side, completed. So I still have a ways to go. I have to join to this light blue stretch, and each repeat decreases, I think it's every second row, every second row or third row it decreases by 1 stitch. So it gradually the rows get shorter and shorter and shorter. But for now, it's still taking a little while to work on each row. So this one I worked on 5 days in the past in the past week and a little bit that I've been doing my whip it down week. So that one's getting quite a bit closer to done. I have, like I say, I'm on clue number 4 finally. I've done half of, I guess there are sections 10, 11, and 12. I can't remember what the numbers are. There's three parts that we have to do in clue number 4. The first part, doing that one wedge, is complete. The next part is doing the second wedge on the other side that I've started, and I have several rows done, but I still have quite a bit left to do on that. And then there's a little finishing piece that hopefully won't take too long, but each of these clues have taken me forever to do. I do not know how people finish a Stephen West mystery knit along in the 4-week period that we work on it. I do not know. Even if that's all they work on, even if that was all I worked on all day, every day with nothing else to do, I still don't think I could finish, especially the later ones when there's so many stitches we're working on. I don't know how some people do it. I really don't. There must be smoke coming from their needles when they're knitting. Because I certainly can't knit quickly enough to finish them that fast. I am hoping to, I'm kind of hoping, my wishful thinking hope is that between now and Thursday morning, December 1st, that my socks will be done, and that's quite likely. I should be able to get those done today and get them finished tonight before I go to bed. The Westknits shawl, I am hoping I can finish all of that between now and, so on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm hoping I can be completely finished with the shawl, because come December 1st, I want to start my Advent knitting. I desperately want to start. I will be starting, not desperately want, I will be starting my Advent knitting. So I would love to have these 2 projects, again, the Westknit shawl and my toe-up socks. I would like to have them both completely done before Monday or before Thursday morning, so that I can get started on my Advent knitting project. I will talk more about those in a couple days. So I will explain what I mean by that in more detail in a few days, but in the meantime, what my plans are coming up are to finish up my whip it down week. So that finishes up tonight. I will post one more video this evening. I'll post my podcast tonight, and I will also post my final whip it down week episode tonight. And then tomorrow it's back to work. Thanksgiving break is over. Actually, technically it's over. We've been back to our regular routine today. We got up early, we had church this morning, went out for lunch. All the regular Sunday things were back to normal for us. And I also need to spend a little bit of time this evening going over my material for my classes for next week. So my 2 online classes, I need to go through the material that will be going live at midnight tonight. I need to double check those, make sure all the links work, all that stuff. So I have to spend a little bit of time with that. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, but I do need to go back through that and double check all of that and make sure everything is good for the students to get into it tomorrow morning, or whenever they go into it tomorrow morning. So I have to get that done. And then tomorrow it's off to work, my face-to-face class to teach grading to get, I've got a little bit of grading that I've got to get started on. A few things that were turned in and due before Thanksgiving break. A few things that were due or are due tonight that I want to get graded early next week. And just back into the regular work routine. So that's coming up now. And Tuesday I'll have a fair bit of time to work on my Twists and Turns shawl. Wednesday it's back in the office again. And then, as I mentioned, for our Thursday starts the Advent countdown till Christmas. So I have ordered an Advent calendar. It arrived a little while back. I haven't even opened the outside packaging. I'm assuming that everything inside is all packaged up. I'm not taking a chance in opening it before the 1st. So one of the things I will be doing for December is I will be doing vlogmas. I love doing vlogmas. I love watching vlogmas videos that other people have done. I enjoy vlogmas. So I will be posting a video each and every day. It'll just be, again, similar idea to what I did for Vlogtober. I will be doing a short little video every day leading up to Christmas. So the first part of the most of December. So what I'll do is I will post an introductory video on that, which will go live on Thursday morning on the 1st of December. And then on the 1st I will film things that I've done during the day. I will film opening each day of my Advent calendar and show you what I got each day in my Advent calendar. And I will show you some little bits of them knitting, other things I get up to, whether there's things going on around town that are Christmas related. I know there's a Christmas tree display not far from our place that we want to go and check out. On Friday, I think we're going to go out and do some things, so I might be able to film some stuff there. Just like the regular day-to-day things. You also noticed from October or Vlogtober that in general my life is not that exciting. So it is what it is. So I will be doing that in the upcoming month. And I have two Advent projects that I'm going to be doing. The first one, and I will show you the yarn and talk a lot more about it in more detail when I do the introduction video that I will post on the 1st of December. That one it's an Advent scarf, and it's going to be color work using intarsia. Did I say that right? It's going to use like an intarsia technique. Between 5 and 7 colors are recommended. It's a sport weight yarn, and it's a pattern that comes out, or a design that comes out each year for Advent by Trisha Weatherston, and she is one of the ones that did a lot of the organizing and running of Sock Madness over the years. And what she does is she has historically put out, and you see that stack of scarves there, those are all Advent scarves that Trisha has designed over the years that I have made each December for the previous many Decembers. And I think I showed them off I showed them off on a video one time a while back. But that will start on the 1st of December. And what she also did is she gave us a little introductory little blurb with the first part that we can get a little bit of a head start, and then she'll post one clue every day during the Advent season. So she'll start, first one will come out for the 1st of December, and then there'll be one each day. And typically it'll be a handful of rows. It's usually something that most people are able to keep up with on a day-to-day basis. I'm hoping. I don't always manage to keep up. I start out okay, and then my first couple weeks in December are usually busy with the end of the semester, final exams, grading, all those year-end things that make my life busy at year-end for work. But I will be showing you what I've done day by day on that. So, and I'll also, in the introductory video, I will show you all of the yarn that I'm planning on using for it, and I'll take you along for the ride on that one. The other one I'm going to do is with the Advent calendar yarn. There again, there's 24 20-gram minis in that box, and what I'm planning on doing is I bought the Helen Stewart Knit Vent ebook a month or so ago. So I have each of the patterns that she's put out for Knit Vent, and what I want to do is use the mini skeins from my Advent calendar and make the big round shawl. Anthology? I think that's the name of it. Anyway, I have to take a better look at the pattern. I haven't really looked at it yet, but that's the plan. So each day when I open one of my Advents is I will use the yarn from that day to do one of the parts of the anthology shawl, and end up at the end of the Advent season with a scarf and a shawl. And those will take up the bulk of my knitting time in December. I'm hoping I'll be able to squeeze in some time here and there to work on my Rachel top, and that's why I'm hoping that I will have both my socks and my Twist and Turn shawl finished, so that I don't roll into January with those two to finish, the Westknits shawl and the Rachel top and my Advent scarf and my other the shawl, and then want to cast on my January 1st pair of socks. I don't want to start the new year with a bunch of works in progress that I'm trying to catch up on. Although I know realistically that's probably what will happen. So it is what it is. Although I would like also to cast on a pair of new socks on Christmas Day. There's no hope for me. There really is not. Anyway. So that's what I've been up to. That's what my upcoming plans are. And it's probably about time I stop talking, get the editing done on this. For someone who's talked to you every day this past week, I'm surprised I've been talking for almost 40 minutes. You guys realize, you know, I get paid to talk. That's my occupation, is talking. So it should be no surprise that I can talk and talk and talk and talk. Anyway, so I will let you go. I'm going to get the editing done on this and keep working on the cuffs on those socks and hope that I